Hello, Habibi. Salam alaikum, Habibi. If you're ready, let's go, Habibi. I told you, Habibi. When the money enter, Habibi, I'll definitely call you, Habibi. We dey go to the price, Habibi. That the max 400k. Eshani, Habibi. My liar, I swear you, Habibi. Oh my baby, now we saw you won't go, Habibi. Hello, Habibi, baby, we dey go to the price, Habibi. That the max 400k. Eshani, Habibi.
Gentlemen, welcome to Sport Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. Hello, Habibi. I hope your weekend was great. Mine was awesome. Especially if you're a football fan, yours should be good. Especially again, if you're a Manchester United fan, if you're a Liverpool fan, then your weekend should be awesome. But more than anything else, if you are a Formula One fan, then your weekend should be crazy. Abu Dhabi is next up, and that would be where the Formula One title will be decided this season. It's been a crazy twist, of course, as at the end of August, you could expect that maybe McLaren was going to go home with this one after they won the drivers' champion. They won the constructors' championship last season, and they also won it this season. But hey, it looks like Verstappen is going to make it 5 out of 5, and that definitely is on McLaren. We'll talk about all of that on the show today. Football happened over the weekend, extensive football. I know that about that. The South African football has in at December, of course. Happy New Month is the month of December, and it's AFCON. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will play 4 games in this month of December. 1 is a friendly match before the AFCON, and of course 3 games are before the end of the year at the Continental Showpiece. When AFCON was in 2013 at the FNB Stadium in South Africa. That's glorious Sunday with a goal scored by Sᴘᴏ. Hey, it's going to be back FIFA World Cup. We were not in Qatar in 2022 and will not be in US, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. We had the opportunity from a relatively easy group that had Lesotho, that had Zimbabwe, that had Benin Republic, that had South Africa, that had Rwanda. We didn't qualify. Then whatever it was, maybe fate, maybe God of Soccer still gave us another chance via the continental playoffs. We defeated what country did we beat actually? Yeah, I'll try and remember. Of course, Obama the most, which is DR Congo. We flopped our lines and we lost via the penalty shootout. Now we're not going to the World Cup next year. Of course, we have the AFCON to compete at. And of course, we need to make sure that Nigerians hold on to something. So if we win AFCON, give and take, I will just watch the World Cup. I'm just doing calculation. If you watch Sabino's video, the way he used to do that, that's what I'm doing right now on the show. Welcome to Sports Cruise. Got bills to pay at 6:10. English Premier League actions over the weekend. The biggest one, not the London derby, not London versus West London. It finished 1-1. And of course, we analyze the game today. Arsenal, was that a point missed or a point? Chelsea scored first in the second half. Via Arsenal, 7 Arsenal that medicine via the corner kick, and Arsenal equalized with their first 9. But the biggest of them all had to be the fact that the captain is back. I'm talking about Martin Odegaard and their striker as well. We've got a lot of players coming up. There's also midweek games this week in the Premier League. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Arsenal would host Brentford at the Emirates Stadium. Now they've got a 5-point lead on top of the Premier League. But there's so much to talk about on the show today. F1, what a race we had. Verstappen is saying that it's real. And then as I give you the juices of sports stories, updates, breaking news, and Cup of Nations, hopefully the Super Eagles of Nigeria would also release at least before the end of this week. And let's see how it goes. And we're hoping again that our golden boy at the most he was missing in action for the weekend in the Champions League for Galatasaray, and they lost the first Champions League game. Got those hat tricks against Olympiacos. Victor Osimhen was still the highest goal scorer in the Champions League this season. We hope he's back, and we also hope that we'll be talking about Paulo Onuachu. He scored 2 goals against this weekend for his Turkish club to inspire them to a 2-1 victory in the Turkish league. What are we expecting when the Super Eagles of Nigeria drops their final 25-man list that will represent us at AFCON and attempt to make it a step higher than we did the last time, where we lost to the host Ivory Coast for 2-1. Right there, but we celebrate, and they were celebrating a final loss. But again, they always say that when you've not tasted so much in a long time, whatever little that looks good looks perfect. But this time around, we're hoping we can go a step further. But we've got a lot of countries to deal with. 2 Northern African countries are in our group for AFCON. Stick around. We'll take a quick break at 6:10, and when we come back, we've got Formula One stories to discuss on the show today. I was hoping Sweet Yemi can join me on the show to dissect some of the issues. Would it be the fault of McLaren? I mean, it's talking about putting 2 eggs in plenty basket. Or should I have allowed either of Oscar Piastri or Lando Norris to take the charge for the title? Oscar Piastri for me, or Lando Norris, either of them. I don't want Max Verstappen to win it, not because he doesn't deserve to, but he's won 4 of the last 4. This time around, it is a fight to finish. I'll be right back.
Me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen every day of the weekday to Sports Cruise on Mainland FM. God bless you.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Ooh, where my 100 naira now? Wait, which kind of wahala be this now?
Soji, this one where they find 100 naira like say na millions. You better rest. Waiting go.
Wetin I hear you dey talk so? Na 100 naira you dey talk about like that? Money wey I fit take buy new house, come buy new motor join, and even marry Nkechi my babe for inside Glow Play Up Lottery?
Yes, so with the Glow Play Up Lottery, your life can truly change for the better. With 50 million naira up for grabs, give yourself a chance to be one of the 10 lucky winners of 1 million naira weekly, or hit the 10 million naira monthly jackpot for as low as 100 naira per play. Just dial *400#, pick any number from 1 to 9 and confirm. You can play as many times as you like on any device. Terms and conditions apply.
Glow Unlimited.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so, you don't do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don't dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
With an initial deposit of only 50k, yes, 50,000 naira, get the best farmlands at Naija Farm City, Lagos, Ibadan Expressway, near Foursquare, Sele and Muslim Camp. Own land with big crops like cassava and plantains and start making good money immediately. Very cheap prices, all inclusive, with registered survey and deed of assignment included in the price. One plot is 850,000 naira. 1 acre is 4.6 million naira, and you can pay it off in 6 months at 0 interest rate. Free refreshment and inspection bar store every Saturday where they pamper you. Call the company now on 0901 297 8380 or 0906 991 3779 or visit their office, Remel Real Estate at Suite 322 and 323 B&B Mall, Kilometer 35, Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, Gulf Junction, Lakwe, Lagos.
For the Lapo Express Savings Promo Season 4.
Yes, so save only 30,000 naira every month from November 1, 2025, go reach January 31, 2026. Use the Lapo debit card at least 5 times for 3 months back to back.
Then come leave at least 90,000 naira balance for your account till January 31, 2026. Make you for qualify to win the star prize of 3 million naira for the raffle and 100,000 naira each for 20 lucky winners.
Hurry now because the first 500 new accounts may open go get 1 Lapo debit card free.
For more tori, call 0813-984-0230 or visit any Lapo Microfinance Bank near you.
Terms and conditions dey o. Lapo Microfinance Bank, they improve life.
Now is a good time for Weather for Two. You are probably thinking about you and you know who. But what if Weather for Two meant something even better for you? What if it meant getting the perfect pair, data and airtime? The amazing collabo for you? Stay connected like never before with the Glow Collabo Bundle. Get amazing data and talk time in one powerful package. For just 1,000 naira, enjoy 20 minutes of talk time and 1.25 gigabytes of data. With 2,000 naira, get 40 minutes of talk time and 3 gigabytes of data. Or go big with 5,000 naira for 100 minutes of talk time and a massive 12.5 gigabytes of data. To activate, simply dial *312# or use the Glow Cafe app. Terms and conditions apply.
Win big for the Lapo Express Savings Promo Season 4.
Yes, so save only 30,000 naira every month from November 1, 2025. Go reach January 31, 2026. Use the Lapo debit card at least 5 times for 3 months back to back.
Then can't leave at least 90,000 naira balance for your account till January 31, 2026. Make you for qualify to win the star prize of 3 million naira for the raffle and 100,000 naira each for 20 lucky winners.
Hurry now because the first 500 new accounts may open go get 1 Lapo debit card free.
For Motori, call 0813-984-0230 or visit any Lapo Microfinance Bank near you.
Terms and conditions dey. Lapo Microfinance Bank, they improve life.
Look, before you count 1 to 9, your name can change from Pascal to Odogun Parara.
Wait for it.
Before you count another 1 to 9, you can go from owning one shop to becoming an importer, exporter, extraordinaire. Before you finish counting another 1 to 9, you can move from your face me, I face you apartment to owning a mansion in your name. By playing the Glow Play Up Lottery with as little as 100 naira.
Yes, so with the Glow Play Up Lottery, your life can truly change for the better. With 50 million naira up for grabs, give yourself a chance to be one of the 10 lucky winners of 1 million naira weekly, or hit the 10 million naira jackpot for as low as 100 naira per play. Just dial *400#, pick any number from 1 to 9 and confirm. You can play.
With an initial deposit of only 50k, yes, 50,000 naira, get the best farmlands at Naija Farm City, Lagos, Ibadan Expressway, near Foursquare, Sele and Muslim camp. Own land with big crops like climate included in the price. One plot is 850,000 naira. 1 acre is 4.6 million naira, and you can pay it off in 6 months at 0 interest rate. Free refreshment and inspection bar store every Saturday where they pamper you. Call the company now on 0901 297 8380 or 0906 991 3779 or visit their office, Remel Real Estate at Suite 322 and 323 B&B Mall, Kilometer 35, Леки-Ekpe Expressway, Gulf Junction, Lakwe, Lagos.
Associates with your host, music legend Alex O and Cordelia Ogbe, as we'll be going through his journey together, sharing some of those classic hits from Orit's Wuliki. Today at 7 p.m.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it.
Powered by MTN.
You're listening to Mainland 98.
Hello, my name is Godwin Enoch and I'm a broadcast journalist. Yes, my friend will tell me that I am a sport administrator by accident. Listen every day of the weekday to Sports Cruise on Mainland FM. God bless you.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us on Sports Cruise live from Mainland 98.3 FM from now all the way down to 7 p.m. I've got you covered. I'm sure you'll be wondering, where's Agbatomi? Well, he's always strategic about when he will be off work, on leave actually. At the last time he was off work, Liverpool was on a run of defeat, both in the Champions League and in the Premier League, as Premier League would also give us all-round games. But Agbatomi is going to be away on the show for the entire week, so we could be riding so solo, but of course, I'm not alone. I'm never alone when I have you listening to me on the other side of the mic. Games were decided over the weekend, and of course, including CAF Champions League and CAF Confederations Cup. We'll always celebrate our own as we step into the AFCON month of December. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, we'll talk about them as we build up to the African Cup of Nations in Morocco. This time around, I would have opportunity to also partner with you. So if you're listening to us, you enjoy what we do every day of the week, I invite you to also come partner with us. Come put your money where your mouth is. So I can actually, let's all use the platform to tell the world about what you sell. Just click on us on the marketing department of Milan 98.3 FM, or you send us a message or a mail. Anyhow you want to reach out to us, let's talk business as we prepare for the African Cup of Nations. On Friday, games were decided in the Spanish La Liga as Getafe defeated Elche by a goal to 1. Borussia Mönchengladbach and RB Leipzig played a goalless draw in the German Bundesliga. C쏘ᴜᴜ 1907 Sex Fabricas, it's on a solid run. 12 games, they remain unbeaten. They also defeated Sao Solo by 2-0 on Friday. So Cόμενo 1907 sixth place on the Italian Serie A table with 24 points, just 4 points adrift of table topping AC Milan. Can you imagine? Teams like Atalanta, Juventus, Lazio, Udinese, all of them are still below Cόμενo 1907. I think that will probably be one of the biggest surprise of the season as they continue to make steady progress. In this French Ligue 1, there was games between Metz and Rennes over the weekend, on Friday specifically. And of course, Metz lost that game at home. Early kickoff on Saturday, Brentford at the GTEC Community Stadium defeated Burnley by 3-1 as Manchester City left it late double goal from ⴜⴜ Manchester City led 2-0. Leeds United came in for 2-2, and in the 93rd minute, ⴜⴜ got them the winning goal. Sunderland at the Stadium of Light also had to come from 2 goals down against AFC Bournemouth as they won that game by 3-2. Everton at the Hugh Dixon Stadium lost to Newcastle by 4-0. In fact, Newcastle have scored only 3 goals on their travel the entire season. In fact, they've not won any game away this season. Their first was an emphatic victory away at Everton. And for Tottenham Hotspur against Fulham at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it's a London derby, by the way, and Fulham won that game by 2-0 to defeated Wiki Tourist by 3-0 as Niger Tornadoes also defeated the defending champions of the Nigerian Premier Football, Remo Stars, by 1-0. The Spanish La Liga, Mallorca played a 2-2 draw with Osasuna as Barcelona continued their fantastic run as they defeated Deportivo Alaves by 3-1. Alaves took a quick lead as the game started, and of course Barcelona equalized almost immediately, and they went on with Lamine Yamal also giving a fantastic performance in that game. Levante lost at home to Athletic Club Bilbao by 2-0 as Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid also defeated New Boys Real Oviedo by 2-0. Bayern returned to winning ways after their first defeat in 16 games against Arsenal in the Champions League as they defeated St. Pauli by 3-1. Hoffenheim versus Augsburg also ended 3-0 in favor of Hoffenheim. Union Berlin lost at home to FC Eidem as Werder Bremen played a 1-0 lost at home to Borussia Dortmund by 2-1. Genoa defeated Hellas Verona in the Italian Serie A on Saturday by 2-1 as Parma lost at home to Udinese. Juventus came off their 3 successive draws as they defeated Cagliari by 2-1. And AC Milan made it back-to-back Serie A wins. Their last outing was the Milan derby against Inter Milan. This time around they defeated Lazio by a goal to nothing. PSG, yes, lost to AS Monaco in the French Ligue 1 as Paris FC also played a 1-1 draw with AJ Osrel. Well, those were games that were decided in none of the major leagues across Europe on Saturday specifically. Yes, yes, in the AC Milan game there were 7 yellow cards in that particular one, and guess who got a red card? AC Milan manager Massimiliano Allegri got a red card in that game, as the other players also shared 6 yellow cards in between them. Rafael Leao benefiting from a Fikayo Tomori assist to score the only goal in that particular game. Well, Marseille also played a 2-2 draw against Toulouse for the last game on Saturday night in the French Ligue 1, and of course yesterday there were games in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But let's look at Manchester. He got a penalty. He scored a penalty, but he was told to retake it. There was accidental second touch in his first play, and then he played it again, and then he converted it. Joshua Zexi pulled Man U level in the 54th minute. Guess what? And also doubled Man U's lead in the 63rd minute. 10-minute interval. Both of them benefiting from Bruno Fernandes' assist to give Manchester United a Wolves ended 1-0 in favor of Aston Villa at the Villa Park, and that is 8th game unbeaten for Unai Emery's side. Talking about Aston Villa, and guess what? Aston Villa, a team that didn't have a single win in their first 5 Premier League games, have moved up to 4th position. The same point with Chelsea. They are just 4th because of an inferior goals difference to Chelsea. Exactly. 24 points. In fact, they're just 6 points adrift of table-topping Arsenal. Talking about Unai Emery's Aston Villa. Talking about Alexander Isak getting his first goal for Liverpool after just 2 shots on goal the entire time he spent as a Liverpool player. And of course, Gakpo also made it 2 with Mohamed Salah sitting the entire 90 minutes of that game out. He was an unused substitute just sitting on the bench, and that's the second time in 53 matches that he would not be starting for Liverpool. West Ham United lost at home 2-0 against Liverpool as Chelsea continued their inconsistent run in the NPFL by defeating Kwara United by 3-2. As Enyimba returned to winning ways, defeating Enugu Rangers in that oriented the Shooting Star Sports Club of Ibadan, 3SC like they always call them, defeated El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri by 1-0 as Warri Wolves, the Millionaire Boys, defeated Spanish La Liga Open proceedings on Sunday as they lost at home to Villarreal by 2-0. Sevilla also lost at home to Real Betis by 2-0. Espanyol also won away from home at Celta Vigo by 1-0 as Kylian Mbappe also scored the only goal for them yesterday from the penalty box after Vinicius Jr. was fouled in the box to make a 1-1 draw for Girona. Hamburger FC versus VfB Stuttgart, a 2-1 victory for Hamburger as Eintracht Frankfurt also played a 1-1 draw with Wolfsburg. Freiburg defeated Mainz 05 by 4-0. And Italian Serie Lecce defeated Torino by 1-0. Pisa lost at home to Inter Milan by 2-0 as Atalanta continued their resurgence under their new man in midweek in the Champions League, and he also scored in their game against Fiorentina as they won away from home at Strasbourg by 2-1. Angels also lost at home to Alfred Nice by 3-1. And of course across Europe, including the Super Nigerian Premier Football League, Rayo Vallecano would close proceedings tonight by 9 p.m. 5 big game tonight in the Championship as Birmingham City would host Watford. And the game is already going on in the Turkish league, arguably the biggest game in the league. Fenerbahce at home against Galatasaray. The game is in the 26 minutes. Let me run you through the lineup of both sides as you would expect. Victor Osimhen certainly back in action from Manchester City goalkeeper. There's also Nelson Semenyo. There's also Uzek. There's Karim Ataskoglu. And there's also Yusuf El Nasri, top striking for Fenerbahce in a 4-1-4-1 formation. For Galatasaray in a 4-2-3-1 formation, as expected, wearing jersey number 45, he's arguably the best striker in the world right now. Victor Osimhen up there with the likes of Ike Gundogan, Leroy Sané, Lucas Torreira, Davinson Sanchez, Mario Lamina. There's also Gabriel Zera and Ukanga Kaku. Istospor is leading that game by 1-0. Those are games that we expect. Welcome to Sports Cruise. Let's take you through some F1 stories as Max Verstappen and Red Bull came out on top in a battle of strategies in the Qatar Grand Prix, giving the reigning world champions the boost he needed to remain in the fight for the drivers' championship title. After he passed standing leader Lando Norris at the first corner on the opening lap, it looked like Max Verstappen would have to set in behind Oscar Piastri and wait to see what played out in the 57-lap race. His first big opportunity came sooner than expected as Nico Hülkenberg made contact with Pierre Gasly are following the Cʀᴜɪsᴜ driver to retire and prompt a safety car period, with Pirelli placing a 25-lap limit on each of their tires at this circuit. Almost all of the teams choose to pit and take advantage of the neutralized conditions. While they lost significantly less time compared to normal stop and tick off in one of the two mandatory tire changes, McLaren choose to stay out on the track, giving them a much harder job as they had to catch up 2 stops on normal racing conditions. Verstappen was understandably full of praise for his team strategy after the race, saying, "This was an incredible race for us. We made the right call as a team to box under the safety car. That was smart, of course. I'm super happy to win here and stay in the fight until the end. It was a little bit upset because of it all, but for us, I think it was a very strong race on a weekend where it was a little bit tough. We still won the race, and that was the most important thing." McLaren choosing not to pit stop was an interesting move. I knew that then, of course, we had to make a big pit of the gap, but you still need to keep the tires alive for 25 laps. The wear was very high around here, but quickly it all worked out. The result came at the end of a challenging weekend for Verstappen as he struggled to bounce in every session, which contributed to him missing out of a podium on the sprint. He came back to take P3 in qualifying before eventually winning the Grand Prix by nearly 8 seconds over Piastri, taking him within 12 points of Norris' lead in the standings. Well, it is possible now, he concluded. We see. I don't really worry about it too much. Let's go to Abu Dhabi. Okay, so let's do some permutation now to see how Lando Norris can still win the world title in Abu Dhabi, which is the last race of the season. But before we dive into that, let me run you through how the top 3 stands at the moment. Lando Norris of McLaren with 408 points. Closely followed by Red Bull, Max Verstappen with 396 points. That's just 12 points separating both of them. And there's also Oscar Piastri of McLaren in 392 points. And so there are 14 points between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Both of them are teammates. And there are 12 points between Red Bull, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris in top. And there's also just 4 points between Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen. Crazy, right? So let's run you through ending Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So let's see how all of these drivers can actually play out. After a strategic drama in Qatar, Norris is 12 points ahead of Max Verstappen and 16 points in front of McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri, with 25 points for a win in Sunday's race at the Yas Marina circuit in Abu Dhabi. So for Norris, Sunday. But should the British driver finish 4th or below like he did in Qatar, he will need Max Verstappen not to win the race before he can be crowned champion. If Norris retires or fails to score any points, he will need Max Verstappen to be outside of the podium place and Piastri in 3rd or lower before he can win the title. So let me tell you how Max Verstappen, the defending champion, can also retain his title to make it 5 out of 5. Max Verstappen must be on the podium to have any chance of winning a record equaling 5th consecutive driver's title, an accolade only held by Michael Schumacher during his time at Ferrari. The Dutchman, who won a controversial title decided in 2021 against Lewis Hamilton, realistically needs to win and hope Norris is not on the podium. Very simple, right? Absolutely simple. Okay, let's also look at how the race can eventually pan out for all of the drivers that are on Sunday, which is going to be in Abu Dhabi. By the way, one of my favorite circuits. If you know me, you know very well that my favorite circuit is certainly the Azerbaijan circuit in Baku, and after then there's Monaco, after then there's Interlagos, and of course it's Abu Dhabi. I love the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Might understand you by and by. Just move on up.
So we've listened to how Lando Norris can win. All he needs to do is to make a podium finish in Abu Dhabi. That is the end. He wins the title. If he doesn't make a podium finish and he finishes outside of the top 3, he should pray that Max Verstappen does not make a podium finish, which is most likely not going to be possible for a driver that had won 5 of the last 7 races, for a driver that was 104 points behind Lando Norris at the end of August. Is not just true the fact that Max Verstappen will make a podium finish, but all Lando Norris needs to do He's just finished on the podium. He wins his first ever F1 title. But this is the twist. His teammate can also still win on that day. Oscar Piastri must finish in the top 2. So Piastri finished second. The Australian would rely on Norris being 10th or lower plus Max Verstappen not being on the podium. Interesting permutation. Oh yeah.
And keep on wishing.
So let me tell you what happens if the top 2 are tied on the same point with 404 points. Those 414 points, that's 414 points, so they are tied. They will then go back to counterback, which means who has the most number of wins in 2025. Remarkably, Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri all have 7 victories this season.
Safe, you can pass the test. Just move.
That means we then look at the second places, and Norris is ahead here with 8 second places compared to Max Verstappen on 6, including the one in Abu Dhabi in this scenario, while Oscar Piastri is in 4. In any scenario where Norris is tied with his title rival, he will come out top. If possible for Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri to be tied on points, the second occasion in the F1 Drivers' Championship has gone down to the last race in the 75 years history of the race. However, only 9 of those times have seen the championship leader going into the race and not winning the title. Sebastian Vettel in 2010 was the last driver to do that when he overturned a 15-point deficit to defeat Fernando Alonso, having been thank you so much for staying with us on Sports Cruise on Mainland 98.3 FM. I'm glad that we've been able to run through the result of the games that were decided over the weekend, and for the very first time we're having for the very first time in a long period of F1 season, we're having a race that would go down the wires. And if you look at the balance, as a 12 points behind Lando Norris with only 4 points ahead of Oscar Piastri in third, with Max Verstappen in second, on back-to-back for McLaren already, but this time around it's a different twist. And like I told you, I said I'm expecting someone. I said I wished Cʀᴜɪ could join me on the show today, and yes, she walks into the studio. By the way, this is good to have you on the show. I had to drag you out of work to join us on the show today.
You really did. And yeah, it's really good to be here. It has been a while since I've been on this show.
By the way, if you are joining us, if you've been with us the last 1 year, then you probably will not know Cʀᴜɪ.
Don't know
but if
I
you know
am.
how we started this station, this show, of course, Cʀᴜɪ has been a huge part of the team. Good to have you back on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's dive straight into this one. How did we get here? Constructors Championship, 104 points down to 12, down to the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. How did we get here?
It is insane. I'm not even going to lie. I'm honestly shocked that this thing is going down to the final race, because I really thought that it would be done and dusted like 3-4 races to go, because but it was more like, just the outlier, just like, just come in and just win a race, and you're like, oh wow, shocking, this person won a race. But not that we think that it will still be in it till now. It was more like, he's maximizing the car that he has. He's probably just going to win a couple of races, but it should just be down between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. And the fact that we are here right now,
we're looking at permutation.
He's ahead of Oscar Piastri that was leading the championship for like most of for the first half of the season. It is shocking, and it just shows to just cement the fact that Max Verstappen is probably the best driver of his generation. There's nobody comes close. What he has been able to do with that Red Bull car, because it was not a great car at the start of the season. Yes, it has improved. They've been able to narrow the gap to McLaren a little bit, but the McLaren car is a very solid chance of winning the championship.
He has the best chance because he's on a good momentum right now.
He has the best chance, but to be honest, the onus is on Lando Norris. The person that has the best chance to win this championship is Lando Norris.
Just a podium finish.
His fate is literally in his hands. He has to make sure that he finishes on that podium. He has to finish that first or second. And if he does that, there's no chance for Max Verstappen or Oscar Piastri to do this thing. And then yes, like the fact that we are here, it's yes, that McLaren car, it would have been done and dusted months ago. And it's very it did this month with races to go. last season. He did it with Vesey to go last season. So he's very correct in that analogy to prioritize one driver over the other. And the funny thing, the fact that it's down to the wire. Obviously, there were a lot of factors last week that Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris were disqualified. It was that was insane. It was insane, but then obviously it happens and it's shocking. But then it's the rules are the rules. And had finished fourth, like it would have finished. And then the last week would have just been like a duck. Nobody cares who wins. But now that is going down to the wire. Yeah, but like I think I have to also look at say rather Max Verstappen won than choose between either of his drivers,
and that's what is happening.
It was such an arsenal. I thought it was an
elite driver.
You have to have like I get the fact that these two drivers are excellent drivers. To be very honest, both of them have been very very solid. How many points is between them? It's not up to 20 points. It's not a lot. Both of them are very very close. But at the point in the season, you have to sit down and say, I think we are going to have to pick this driver over the other. I get the fact that you don't want to have like a number one driver or a number two driver. You don't want that kind of one driver over the other. We have to be strategic. It's just his basic strategy. His basic thinking about
you probably think Verstappen is the only driver for Red Bull.
Why will you love you? But like just you are going to and then the fact that they refuse to do that is the reason why they are in this situation, because now game entirely and you have to prioritize one driver. It happened last season as well when they refused to prioritize Lando Norris when he was the one that had the
best
momentum at that time, and it was too late. They started prioritizing him too late, and the fact that choose between both drivers is because Oscar Piastri excellent, Lando Norris is excellent, and then there's also the idea that oh my god, this guy has been with us since we're in the trenches, and we don't want to disappoint him. Like everybody knows that they would prefer. If they had to choose one, they'll prefer Lando win, but they do not want to step on Oscar's toes, and they're like, and they had strategy calls. Like, if there's a safety car, you
controversial thing to happen between him and Max.
If he had pitted, he would have won that 2021 Abu Dhabi. He would have won the race, but they didn't think they needed to pit. But that was a different thing entirely. When there's a safety car, you have pits. Nobody cares if your tire is like 10. Pit, because it's a fee, you have a fee, you are cutting out time, you don't have to think about changing your tires down, and then they completely got it.
That's what Verstappen took advantage
and they took advantage of that.
4 out of 4. It could be 5 out of 5 for Verstappen in Abu Dhabi. Where does that place him in the league?
He's already in the greats. I think he's already in the greats.
Verstappen.
He's already in the greats.
Hamilton, Michael Schumacher. Where does he place him?
Like among the three. Obviously, we have to look at the people that have the highest numbers now. He's still two. If he wins this fifth,
but of his generation,
of his heads and above.
So does that generation include Lewis Hamilton?
No,
But they're still racing together.
But they're not in the same. It's like saying Oscar is not even.
Oscar is OG.
It's the Carlos Sainz. It is the Charles Leclerc who really thought that.
Charles Leclerc really disappointed this season.
Do you know what? Ferrari in general. I'm not going to lie. That I have been disconnected from the Formula 1 season, because when I saw Ferrari, I said, this thing.
Why are you going into this season
like Silverstone? They started the season terribly, but I still had a little bit of hope. When Silverstone happened and Lewis Hamilton did not make that podium,
you gave up.
I said,
first time in 8 races.
First time since 2007, since he joined Formula 1, that he will not make the podium at Silverstone. And I was like, if you cannot make the podium at Silverstone, you are caused. Like there's no Formula 1 in his age range. People that started Formula 1, no single driver comes close. None. The only driver that I thought was a little bit close before was Charles Leclerc, but Charles Leclerc has disappointed me greatly because whatever potential that he has, I don't think Ferrari is not helping. But I also think
pull the whole star attention with Lewis Hamilton being brought on board.
I said this thing. See, do you know that Lewis Hamilton move? It was just they look great. Like they have aura. They have aura off track. They don't have aura on track. And we need aura on track.
People are paying for the races.
We don't need aura off track. I don't care if they look good. They look great. Yes, but then. We go into the race and you are qualifying 20th. You are finishing 10th. Carlos Sainz, who was dropped, who I thought you want to drop him for Lewis Hamilton. Even though I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, and I think that's been on the last 2 races, he has been on the podium for Williams. Who would have thought Williams would be of all the other teams? People said, I was like, this is a very good driver. He can go to like a Mercedes, or he can go to like an Aston Martin that has done since he joined the team.
And they look quite ambitious.
Years ago. They're very ambitious, and then they are bit by pieces. Before we know now, we're probably going to have a McLaren situation where they are like at the front runner, but anything can happen. So very impressive for Williams. I have to credit Williams this season.
So top 3, if you have the box and you have to roll the dice, and let me say, okay, Octopus hear me, I just make a pick right now. There is Lando with 12th in Oscar and Lando, and all Lando needs to do is to finish on the podium.
Let me do this.
Where do you think he could go to? Please break it down for us.
So now we have to bring out our calculator.
It's just like Sᴘᴏ Eagles for World Cup.
We have to start calculating and say he's winning. If he finishes second, he's winning. If he finishes third, so far he finishes on the podium,
he wins.
He's winning. If he finishes fourth, he's not.
And my Verstappen wins. It's all over.
If he finishes fourth, he needs Lando to finish. He needs Lando not to finish on the podium. And then Oscar Piastri needs Lando to finish sixth. In the hand of Lando Norris. Now we can say that it does not look like he's going to do this thing, but there's a certain chance that he might make the podium. He has a very good
just finish on
so
the podium.
far he finishes on the podium. This right, they deserved, honestly. That's like, but when he made that statement, I was like, is this man okay? I think you're not okay to say that. So now the ball is in Lando Norris's court. His fate is in his hands. Max Verstappen's fate is not in his hand. If Max Verstappen wins and Lando would want to win,
was Lando.
It's not Lando. I don't like Lando. I don't want to live in a world where Lando Norris is a world championship. Let me tell you that. But if I had to choose, if I had to choose one person, I would want Oscar Piastri to win. But Lando Norris also deserves it, to be very honest, because he started the season, he was a little bit behind Oscar. Oscar was like the golden boy.
Oscar was like 64 points ahead of Lando.
He was cruising, and then all of a sudden mistakes started happening. Although some people have been like, oh, maybe they're sabotaging him or whatever. We don't know. That one, that exists, but Lando Norris still has the best chance to win the championship, and I think that he will win this championship, but because even if Max wins and Lando finishes on the podium, Lando still wins.
Still a win.
So Max needs Lando to not do well. He needs Lando to have a terrible race in Abu Dhabi for him to win.
Big shout out to Osi by the way. Osi have been pushing for did not finish for Lando. Lando must not finish in Abu Dhabi.
No, we don't want that. We need a fair fight.
He's been calling for DNF.
We need and that's the likelihood of that happening is so slim because now it needs to be that McLaren are coming to the race with a terrible car. They are not going to have a terrible car. They have a very, very good car. So Lando, this is the boys.
But a lot of things can go wrong.
See, Formula One.
There could be a tire
Formula One is such
a crash.
Formula One is an insane sport because literally anything can happen in that race. It can be disqualified after the race. It can have an accident that still be disqualified.
They were disqualified
in Las Vegas. That's the reason why we are going down to this. That's why it's going to.
But we've had an unusual dominance from Max in the last 4 seasons, and I think I like this twist.
Yeah,
that we don't have 4 races to go decided already. I like this one.
2024. 2023.
This car.
What is it? And I started this season looking at McLaren's car and saying, what is in this car? But here we are. Their refusal to maximize their chances. I'm not
going to allow you leave.
Even though it was a draw, but the
winner was that a point game for us?
It was a Chelsea win. It's like fine, they didn't get 3 points, but it's a Chelsea W because they were able to withstand probably best team in the Premier League with 10 men, with a man down.
And you saved them their own medicine by scoring from
for us now. You don't play a team with a man down, but and then you are constantly.
How much of a loss was that, Yemi? They played Tottenham Hotspur the weekend. And they won. You picked 7 out of 9 points.
It's very
still
impressive.
5 points ahead on the Premier League table.
Yeah.
What was that?
They came
16
to the
games, 15 wins,
they came
and
to
a
the
draw.
Emirates and they looked very ordinary, especially in that second half. They were completely bamboozled. They played Tottenham, which we know terrible team, but it's still Tottenham. It's
3 points FC.
Because it was a very unusual performance from them. We expect better from them. Even with 11 men Chelsea on the pitch, we still expect them to bamboozle. Talk less of with 10 men, and you're not able to do that. But credit to Chelsea, credit to Maresca, credit to the players, to Reece James as well. So I think they did. I think for Chelsea, it's very good for them psychologically. They'll be like, we're able to hold on to we're able to hold these people to not bamboozle. They could have bamboozled them with a man down and then used to steal. So I think it's more of a Chelsea. He went more in Chelsea's favor than he did Arsenal's.
All right, thank you so much, Sweet Yemi. See, I'm the only one that can drag. I don't know if it's Sweet Yemi's voice you want to hear or his contribution you want to do, but don't worry. Whatever happens this weekend, I'm promising you, Sweet Yemi, be with us on Monday.
I will try my best.
I trust you.
I will try my best.
All right, guys. This is about the size of the package. I quickly replace Agbatomi with Sweet Yemi. No time. If one player is messing up, another one is coming up.
Yes, that's how it works.
And next up by 7 o'clock is a Legacy Lounge. And this evening on the show, we'll have one of the most celebrated artists that this continent of Africa had ever produced. Talking about Sᴘᴏ for coming through as
Thank
usual.
you for having me.
My name is Cʀᴜɪ紜. Let's do this again tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m., same station on your Super Dial Milan 98.3 FM. Drive safe and enjoy the rest of your evening.